Welcome to the first episode of She Speaks Women's Wisdom for Every Woman, a podcast by women and for women, where we create a space for women to feel seen, celebrated, and inspired. And I really wanted to create this podcast to form a space where we can come together as women in this safe community to share our stories, to ignite our spark, and to dive into the wisdom that guides us towards living a lit up life of peace, purpose, and prosperity as individuals and as a sisterhood. So I want you to consider this space your digital roundtable of women's wisdom. Unlike all of these other podcasts, and like you, I'm a multitasking lady. I'm listening to podcasts while I'm driving, while I'm showering, while I'm exercising, while I'm doing these household chores. And I want to invite you that if you can, set aside about 30 minutes and make this sacred space. Create yourself like a nice warm cup of herbal tea or a cacao, light a candle, burn some incense, spray some sprays, cozy up, and join the sisterhood here in She Speaks, Women's Wisdom for Every Woman. I'm Char Wilson, your host. I'm a MindBody Wellness coach and spiritual teacher, helping high-performing professional women to transform from burned out to lit up through a holistic wellness approach. And each week, every episode, you're invited to join me and my special guests in heartfelt, real conversations on holistic health, well-being, resilience, and living authentically. Whether you're navigating life's big changes, seeking deeper purpose, or simply craving connection and inspiration, you'll walk away with bite-sized brilliance as we uncover empowering insights and practical steps to help you create a life of balance, joy, and fulfillment. And today I am joined by my very first guest, Katelyn Sonnier. I can't speak enough goodness about this woman. She is a soul sister. And interestingly enough, we've only met one time in person. That's kind of wild to me. But I knew instantly you were a soul sister. She is also my Ayurveda teacher, my spiritual and life coach, a peer in the virtual yoga community, and just all around goddess, brilliant woman. I'm so honored, thrilled, and excited to have you here as my very first guest. Katelyn is an Ayurveda practitioner and coach, and she just brings a wealth of wisdom and insight on helping women navigate life, tuning into the subtle energies of our body and creating a life that we really love to live, a long life, a healthful life through the Ayurveda practices. And just something really interesting about Katelyn is that from the ages of 4 to 21, she was on medication for ADHD and anxiety and decided to take herself off of that in her early 20s. And the aftermath of that was that her body began to break down and she had all of these sicknesses that bubbled up. And she found herself needing to create a new way of living for herself. That was her breaking down point. And we all hit it. That moment where we decide, not this, something else. Can't keep going on this way. I need to make a different decision so that I can live the long, happy, healthy life that I want. And for Katelyn, she found Ayurveda. And through Ayurveda, she was able to self-heal all of these diseases, which she will probably tell us a little bit more about in this conversation. So we're going to dive into how Katelyn used Ayurveda to heal herself and how she is now using that wisdom from her learned experience, from her pain, and from her studies to help other women do the same. So get ready to learn from Katelyn, be inspired by her, feel your feelings, and then take away actionable steps to help you thrive in life. Katelyn, welcome to She Speaks. Welcome to the show. It's my honor and delight to have you here. Let's get started, shall we?
Hey, Shar. Thank you. Thank you so much for that introduction. I'm just so grateful to be in your life and for you to be in my life because I've learned so much from you and the breath that you bring to the world. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. It truly is an honor. When I first got the download of like, you need to do a podcast and it has to be interview style and it has to be with women wisdom keepers, you were the first person that came to mind.
Mm,
So thank you for helping me to kick off this dream and being my very first guest.
yeah, I'm
So
so honored.
so to open up, Katelyn, what is one lesson from your life that you had to learn the hard way and you wish every woman knew so that they didn't have to go through the suffering that you went through?
Mm. I mean, I love that you started with this question because I feel like whenever you can actually answer this is whenever you have discovered your purpose, right? And I mean, to answer that, it's whenever I learned what my yeses felt like and what my nos felt like.
Mhm.
Like when it was a yes to do something, when it was a no to do something. Um, when it was a yes to experience anything or a no. Like when you're in it, if it's like, yep, I'm gonna keep going in it, or this is just not for me.
And what does that feel like in your body? Like, how do you know? What does yes feel like for you and no feel like for you? Just so you can give some examples to the
Mm,
to our sisterhood of listeners who may not
yeah,
have that subtle connection yet.
yeah,
I
yeah,
certainly
yeah.
didn't.
hmm Um, for me, a yes feels like settling.
Mm.
It's almost like whenever you sit down on a really comfy couch and you can just kind of let go and settle in, like for me, that's a yes. It's like everything just feels easy. And if there's any amount of resistance in my body, it's a no,
Mm.
you know? And it took me a long time to understand what resistance was, how it showed up in my body and what it felt like. Um, and that started with physical pain, of course, right? Symptoms, you know. But tuning into the wisdom of the symptoms is how I figured out my yeses from my nos.
Yeah. Ugh, so beautiful. And, I think I'm this year in particular, with your help specifically, I've been able to acutely fine tune into what is my yes and what is my no. Ayurveda has absolutely been a system to support me in that, just understanding the subtle energies of my body. Human design is another system that's helped me to be able to tap into that and just feel this like open hearted yesness.
Yeah.
For me, I love that you said it's like a leaning back. It's like this trust fall back into a
hmm
knowing, the intuition. It is
hmm
that for me. And it is also like my body literally like pulls me forward into excitement. That's how I knew I have to launch this podcast. When I asked my body, do you want to do this? Like I ask myself yes, no questions all the time, or I'll lean on
hmm
a guide like you to ask myself yes, no questions. And it was like a full hearted explosive energy pulled forth and a relaxing settling into it. And then the no is very much like contracted, constricted, belly bracing
hmm
for that. So thank you for sharing what it feels like for you. Because I know in the early days, like it was one thing for someone to tell me, listen to your yeses and a nos, but
hmm
to apply that to my life was something very different because I didn't yet know what yes and no felt like in my body.
Right. Yeah, that is that practice of embodiment. And I'm sure that's like a buzzword right now, and especially in women's healing. And it's like, what does it mean to get into your body? And it's like it is exactly what we're saying. It's like tuning into what it feels like whenever you're what the yeses and the nos feel like.
Yeah,
And getting yourself in experiences and tuning in to those symptoms,
yeah,
listening to the body, asking the body,
yeah.
letting it be an active participant in your life.
Oh,
Because
say
we're
that
in our,
again.
I mean,
Say that again. I love that.
letting your body be an active participant in your life. Because there's so many times where we're telling it what to do, we're telling it how to be, we're telling it what shape it needs to be in, and we're not really tuning in to the wisdom and the direction that it wants to go, which is why yoga is such a beautiful practice.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like you have these shapes to get in, but then you can express yourself in that shape, in that container. And then that's
Mm,
what Ayurveda teaches. It's like, this is the shape that you're in. How do you want to express it? Like you take the shape of a defensive lineman. How do you want to express it?
mm,
You can express it as a quarterback, but will that Will that work?
Yeah.
Right. So it's the shape and being able to flow in it.
So why Ayurveda for you? Like, why was that the system
Mm,
that you were drawn to, and what are some of the biggest impacts that it has made in your life?
yeah, I love that question. Like Ayurveda is such an intimate practice for me because it is what saved my life. Yoga too. So like Shar had mentioned, I was a kid of the, late 80s, early 90s, and that's when like medicating your ADHD hyperactive child, like all these medicines, big pharma was like throwing on to these parents. And, I was one of four, and it was just really busy. And so I was struggling at school. So I was like, let's put her on, medication. And that just kind of evolved with me. So ADHD manifested into anxiety, which manifested into depression. So I was on these mood altering drugs for so long. And when I got off of them, it was like it was almost like I was introduced to the world. And I was like, whoa,
Hmm.
whoa. And so my body was like, oh, good. Like, I don't even know how to experience this stuff. And it kind of just shut down. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and fibromyalgia and all of the gut issues you hear, like leaky gut, SIBO. Like, I was diagnosed with all of them. I mean,
Wow.
my gut was in bad shape. And so what essentially that means is whenever you're diagnosed with SIBO, leaky gut, all those digestive things, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, the foods that you've been eating and your lifestyle and the medications that we've been taking have literally burned holes in our intestines. And so there's chronic inflammation, and then all of this bacteria that should be flowing through these tunnels in our digestive tract are going all over our bodies. So like the one for me that has taken a while to um, bring back into balance is the diagnosis of fibromyalgia. Because the inflammation has settled into such deep layers of the tissue that it took a minute. Um, but yeah, it was whenever I got off of those drugs, my body went into shock. And then I got really, really sick and experienced, just so much trauma in trying to heal my gut. And there's so much physical pain in the body that one of my friends recommended yoga. And when I got on my yoga mat, and it was a restorative class, so I was just kind of hanging out and chilling in poses, but I was feeling my body and I had an emotional release. Like I just broke. And my teacher was there, and I know she follows me, so I hope she's listening. I'll share it with her. But I'm gonna make a shout out to her, Jessica. Um, she was just like with me, like she kind of sat with me next to me as she was directing everybody and just like stayed, really held some space for me. And then checked in with me after, and she's like, listen, I think you really need to do yoga teacher training. I was
Hmm.
like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, this is what yoga is going to do? Like, I don't even know if I want to deal with that. And so she just continued to like provide space for me, and I just continued going to the classes, and she was just telling me everything that I was going to learn, so practice yoga. I guess I didn't sign up for the first one, but I did with it after like 12 months. And one of everything that you learn in yoga teacher training, right? The word Ayurveda was spoken to me and I had a visceral response. Like I felt in my body like, yes.
Oh,
Like just
wow.
a little bit that I learned about it. They talked about the doshas. They talked about, a few little other things. And I'm like, this makes sense. Like
Hmm.
everything was just like fireworks. And I'm just like, I don't know. So my other teacher was studying Ayurveda and she hooked me up with a practitioner. And I started working with a practitioner and she gave me three things to do. And I did those three things. And she said, come back to see me in 3 months, only if you continue to do these three things.
Hmm.
And so I was like, okay. And I mean, I won't really try anything. So I did those three things and whoa, like so many things. But I was disciplined. I didn't like, I was committed.
Right.
So like, yeah, it was those three things too, but it was like my commitment. It was like my yes to like, I'm gonna try this. Because for some reason this science was like, hello, this makes sense. Like, let's do this. And so I like dove down into Ayurveda. I applied it to myself for a year and then I stopped doing it. And then the symptoms came back, so I went back to her and put everything back on. And I was like, listen, I need to know, like, because I'm a 1-3 in human design, if you know what that is. Like, I have to know, I have to study. And
Yes.
she knew that about me. And so she's like, you need to go study this because that's the only way that you are going to allow yourself to have the experience, because that's the 3.
Yep.
And that just felt right too. And I was like, absolutely. So I ended up studying with her husband, and just like a deep mentorship, working, him just talking to me about his clients and, um, trying different things on me as he was trying to help me balance myself out. And then I just continued on and like I freaking love it.
Yeah. What's one of the most surprising things that Ayurveda illuminated to you?
That my body is a healing mechanism.
Mm,
Like it has absolutely every bit of intelligence that it needs to regenerate itself,
yeah.
but then
Say that part
also,
again, because I think so much of us are still, we're still in that space where you were as a kid, where it's like the first thing I'm going to do is when something feels off, one, I assume that my body is broken. Two, I
yeah,
assume that my body is actually working against me. It's not, she's
yeah.
not a friend. She's punishing me. And
Which is
three,
why women have autoimmune diseases
yes.
because of that belief. We think our body is to punish us and out to get us. And why do you look like that? Why are you shaped
Mm,
like that? Why do you have
mm,
these extra pounds? Damn
mm,
you, body. And it's like, hello, sis.
right.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. And then because of that belief, because we're not working in partnership with our body, that's one of the first things that I'll tell people is the biggest shift for me was going from punisher to partnership with my body. And then
Mm.
everything changed.
Chills. Yeah. Yep.
Chills. Like things just started working better. My digestion improved. I slept better. I lost 30 pounds without trying because I just shifted my belief system and my attitude
Mm-hmm.
towards my body as a sister instead
Mm-hmm.
of as an enemy or a foe. So and then the third thing, I think if we're in that belief system of my body is not a friend, it is a foe. We're not even talking to her as a partner. We're not even calling her she. We're calling it it. And then we're
Yep.
reaching outside of ourselves to traditionally Western medicine, doctors, practitioners who are trained to treat the problem, like the problem that's right in
Mm-hmm.
front of them,
Mm-hmm.
instead of the root issue.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, our bodies are self-healing mechanisms. Like they have all of the intelligence that they need to heal themselves, right? But just like our minds are in partnership with what our bodies are going to create, and our beliefs, we are also in partnership with nature,
Mm,
right? So nature also has the intelligence to help us heal our bodies through the connections that we have with food and herbs and things like that. And so whenever you know whenever you can understand what the environment that you're putting into your body that's going to change you on a cellular level, because your cells regenerate, right? And that's how your body heals, is your cells regenerate through breath, which is also the exchange of something outside of you, nature, right?
right.
So it's like you need that partnership with nature to regenerate your cells, but your body does that. It will regenerate. It will heal itself when it's given the environment to do so.
Mm, yeah.
So if you can give your body a beautiful mindset to plant such nourishing seeds, as of partnership, as of thank you for what you do for me, body, right? Then it can start to heal itself. Whenever you have that relationship with your body will then tell you like, hey girl, pizza, that ain't gonna work with my stomach,
Mm,
you know? Or like, yeah, tonight I do need pizza to ground my ass down because I've been flying, and eating salads and drinking smoothies because that's all that's available that's semi-healthy at an airport.
Right. Right.
So you get home and you might need a little bit of pizza.
Yeah. I've had
But
cheese
it's
the
it's
last 3 days and my body's talking to me about it.
same. Mine wasn't cheese, mine was dairy. It was like cheesecake and then yeah, ice cream. Yeah, and I feel you.
And that's one of the most beautiful things that you've helped teach me as I've learned from you in Ayurveda is like literally speaking to our body in loving ways, touching our body in loving ways. One of my most favorite practices, and it was the first one you taught me, was the abhyanga and the like dry brushing, really being with our body through touch and
Hmm.
this self oil massage. I think the word is sneha, and it translates
Hmm.
to self love. So this
Hmm.
act of taking oil and creating this safe space, this sacred space with your body every morning, every evening, and moisturizing her and loving on her. And I jacked up my right knee years ago, like big, big, big time. And so that's where, when things are off, it shows up in my knee and inflammation and pain and swelling. That's my first red flag, like check engine light on my body. And so now, in my morning practice that I've learned from you is I will spend a little bit more time massaging oil into that knee and literally speaking love into her. Like, thank you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for healing. Thank you for allowing me to walk again. Thank you, Kate. Thank you. And
Hmm.
just those simple practices, shifting the relationship again from punishment or disconnection with our bodies to being like this loving friend and in partnership with our bodies. So can you tell me, just kind of like shifting gears here, what is a time in your life, maybe within the last year or so, where you felt burned out, you felt disconnected from yourself, and how did you find your way back using Ayurveda?
Mm. Hmm. Well, I mean, I'll be completely honest, as an entrepreneur, right? It's like that's something that I experience, not necessarily like the extent of burnout, but it's like I get to the point where it's like, okay, I've worked too hard, this past week because I'm getting ready to launch something, or like I have this course that I'm about to offer, so I really want to make sure everybody knows about it so they can get the wisdom, and so I'm really working hard, and then I can feel of like, "Ugh, I just need to slow down and rest," so there's like micro burnouts that
Mm-hmm.
happen in my life, and um being able to tune in and know the symptoms of what that is, I'm able to check myself really quickly. But I think like my last biggest burnout, I would say, was in 2020.
Mm,
I was living in Kentucky, I was married, and I was a preschool teacher. And I decided like that's not for me. None of that is for me.
yeah.
And I just like it just slowly just became like no's. Like clearly I see what is causing my imbalances, what is continuing my so let's see where I can go now. And so I packed everything up and I moved to Louisiana, and then COVID happened and I was not about to go back to the classroom, and my mentors are like, you can do this. And I was like, huh? Say what? They're like, yeah, you can like open up your own practice. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so then I just needed to figure out how to do that virtually because I didn't know where the world was going. And so I started hiring coaches and mentors to like pour into my life so I could figure out where what was here for me to be created. Like, well, how can I serve? How can I reach the most people? And how can I simplify this huge, 10,000-year-old practice? And then it's like, I would just want to, how can I bring it to women, and like refine it so much to like for women. And one of my mentors was like, well, why don't you just teach what you did? Oh,
Oh.
okay. Oh, well, yeah, why not?
Huh.
And so, yeah, and so that's just kind of how it all evolved
Yeah.
from
When you
here.
first started out, do you recall, um, like, what were some of the pillars that you were teaching that you could share with our sisterhood listening in here?
Yeah. So it's like, that that common question that you get, it's like, so, it's Caitlin, tell us a little bit about yourself. And it's like, oh, I'm Caitlin. I'm an Ayurveda practitioner, and I help women maintain their weight, get better sleep, and improve their sex life, all through the practices of Ayurveda, right? And so, like, I'm speaking to the three pillars. It's food,
Hmm.
it's like how you nourish your physical body, and then it's your rest, your sleep. Like, what's your relationship with your sleep? And then your sex life, your hormones, the way you express and use your energy. And so, like, focusing in on how you nourish yourself, how you allow your body to heal itself, which happens during rest and sleep, and then how you can harness and express your energy. Because all disease in the body starts from resistance, resistance in the mind, resistance in the body. When you resist an experience, when you resist a food, when you resist a sensation, like, it all starts in resistance. And so using food and sleep and just tuning into your energy and how it syncs up with the rhythm of the day, are the three pillars that I use for health and wellness.
Beautiful. If we could
Yeah.
whittle those down, like what's a simple ritual or habit that our listeners could start to implement into their life?
Mm. I can tell you, like, the one that really provided me so much insight was mindful eating.
Yeah, tell me more.
Like, mindful preparation of my food, but then, like, essentially, like, mindful eating. So, like, whenever I started all of this, my life was crazy. I was a school teacher, and I was like,
Right.
okay, so I mean, I have 15 minutes to, like, mindfully eat my um sandwich of all processed foods, but I was still like, this is so delicious. But, like, mindful eating just is the act of tuning in with the sensations of the physical you. So, like, before I eat, I get in front of my food and I just take like 3 deep breaths in and out, and I settle into my body. And I'm just like, man, like, whatever, I just start speaking to myself of, like, whatever I'm feeling, like, damn, my feet hurt. Like, oh God, I haven't breathed all day. I'm like, I'm just like, just happy to, like, be still for a minute. And then I look down at my food, and I'm whatever it is on my food, like, if it's a ham sandwich, so this is what it was at the time. I'm like, I'm just really grateful that I have the funds and the means to be able to buy the food to make this sandwich. To the fact that I have this food that lasts forever in my refrigerator so I can eat whenever I need it. And it is going to give me some kind of nutrients, it is providing me what I need in this moment. And I'm just grateful. Um, and I would eat it. And I would eat it very slowly, and I would chew my bites, you know, and not like, like cow bites, but just, like, not chewing so fast and then gobbling in another bite, like, just slowing the pace down a little bit.
Yeah.
And that one is one that I'm still, like, so I love. Like, it's just something that is so intimate to me, is like the connecting with my food. And then it went over into making my food with that same type of attention. So it really is just putting attention on what you're doing.
Yeah. And Ayurveda is so built on the foundation of tapping into all of our senses. That's one of
Yeah.
the first and most profound things that you taught me, was to really sensualize our experiences. And starting with our food, one of the things that I teach with my coaching and my audience is like uh, habit stacking. Like, how can we be practical and take a practical approach to living a more mindful, meditative lifestyle? And so that I love this because you can anchor taking those 3 deep breaths and then offering gratitude, really connecting with the food every time that you eat. You can do the same
Hmm.
thing every time you, like, sip on your coffee or a warm cup of tea. Like, use that as your anchor, as a remembering, as a cue. Oh, let me slow my breath. Let me breathe in
Hmm.
deeply for 3 times and give thanks for whatever it is that's about to go into my body. even if it is
Hmm.
a ham sandwich or a cheese pizza. Eventually, we
Hmm.
want to improve the quality of the food
Right.
that we enter into our body. But what a beautiful place to start, by
Hmm.
allowing our everyday going through the motions of eating to be the moment that reminds us, slow down, breathe, tap into your senses, enjoy the moment.
Hmm.
I love that. Thank you
Hmm.
for sharing that.
And it is very interesting too, because whenever you do that, you start to hear the wisdom of your body of like, I really don't want to eat that.
Mm,
I really am not hungry for that. I don't want that. And then so it's like your wisdom will just like guide you into making better choices. You don't have to like take the brain power and the effort. It's just like, I don't want that anymore. Like that's one of the I lead cleanses twice a year. So we have the fall cleanse and the spring cleanse, and Char's done quite a few of them. And one of the biggest things that people tell me after the cleanse is, like I'm so in tune with my body. Like whenever I go to eat something, I hear just like I don't even want that. Why did I fix that for myself? Because it was just out of habit.
yeah,
Or you take the first taste and you're like, oh, I don't even like the taste of that anymore.
yeah.
Because you weren't even paying attention to if you liked the taste or not. You were just habitually drinking it.
And this wraps back to the concept we talked earlier about, like, how we even started is tuning into the yeses and the nos of your body. And so I think that's the good news for the sisters who are listening to this episode, of the more that you tune into the subtle and the obvious yeses and nos of your body, how we can apply that to what we are putting into our body. When our body is telling us, no, I don't want that sugary cake anymore, it makes me feel horrible.
Hmm.
No, I don't want that soft drink anymore, it makes me feel gassy and bloated and horrible.
Hmm.
Yes, I want more yoga. Yes, I want a walk through nature where I can just tap in and listen to the birds and enjoy the flowers. Like, no, I don't want to keep doing HIIT workouts 5 days a week when my body is hurting and exhausted and I'm on my period. Really, really being able to tune into the yeses and the nos, not just with our decisions, but with what we are doing in and with our bodies. I just wanted to
Yes.
make that connection, because that's what my brain
Yes.
does. It just makes connections and brings
Yes.
things back. So full fold back to how we started with that. Like,
Hmm. The
if there was
yeses and the
one thing
nos.
you could share, it's listening to the yeses and the nos of your body.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean that takes something that society doesn't create for us. We have to create it. That's stillness
Yeah.
and slowing down just for just a minute.
Yeah.
Just a minute.
Yeah. And it sounds so simple. It's the hardest thing. It's the first step that I recommend my clients struggling with burnout is, babe, you have got to slow down.
Hmm.
This hustle and grind is not serving you. It's never served you. It's not keeping you ahead.
Hmm.
And slowing down is also not going to make you fall behind. That is the biggest
Yeah.
life lesson
Yeah.
for me.
One of my teachers says it this way is be careful not to confuse energy, not to, yeah, energy with stress.
Hmm.
Because a lot of times it is stress and burnout that we falsify as energy because mhm, the going, the
Yeah.
caffeine.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah. All the stimulants, all the stimulation that we are ingesting into our life to keep us
yeah.
going, to keep us in that cycle of burnout. But the medicine that we need is what we resist the most. And that's what you said earlier. Disease starts with resistance.
Mhm.
And so I think this is, a beautiful way to wrap into the final question is, if you could change one belief or mindset in women that holds them back, what would it be?
That you don't know, that you don't know. Like we experience symptoms, we experience these emotions, and the first thing that we think is something's wrong, and I need somebody to tell me that something's wrong. I need somebody to tell me what's wrong.
Someone save me, someone fix me.
Someone save me. I'm looking outside of myself for the answer,
Oh,
which is just a constant, like, I don't know. I need somebody to tell me. I need somebody that does know.
yeah,
And it's like, you do know. You just got to listen.
yeah. Yeah.
Just gotta listen.
The path to empowerment. Instead of giving away our power and our expecting, this belief that we don't carry the wisdom within us, that our bodies are not to be trusted, that we cannot self-heal, that we have to go outside of ourselves, oftentimes to men, for the answer, to rescue us, to save us, to tell us we're pretty and we're smart and we're good enough. This whole coming home to ourselves. And the first step of that is slowing down. It's through stillness.
Yep.
How can we hear our innate yeses and nos if we're moving too fast? Beautiful.
Yeah.
I could talk to you all day long.
We always have good talks.
I love it. Again, I'm so thrilled that you're my first guest. So I just want to wrap it up for the sisters listening. What is one small actionable step that they can take today to improve their lives? What's the takeaway? Not just more information, but something that they can actually integrate and embody into their life.
Yeah. So, I mean, my invitation to you is curiosity, right? And like I'm sure we hear that word a lot. Like, what does it mean to be curious? Have a conversation with your body. When you have a headache, like, okay, body, like why do we have this headache? And think back, like, how am I moving? What am I saying yes to? Because whenever you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. Like, what are you saying yes to?
Mm,
Just like be curious about the things that you are choosing, the things that you are doing, and how they could be affecting your life and bringing these symptoms. So just curiosity.
yeah, absolutely. And so I heard, firstly, I wanted this podcast style to be, reciprocal, an interview in nature, conversational, because that's just way more fun than me talking to myself in a microphone.
Mhm.
But I also want this to be a podium to shine a light on the good work that you're doing as a healing focused entrepreneur. You mentioned some courses. So is there anything going on that we can highlight here today, or something that's coming up, maybe something that you're kind of cooking up in the kitchen that's waiting to be birthed in the new year? Will you let us know about that? And we'll include
Oh,
links in the show
goodness.
notes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm always available for one-on-one clients virtually. But I also offer cleanses twice a year in the spring and the fall. And then I hold a variety of different workshops virtually and in person, and then also retreats, cross-country retreats, um, stateside retreats, um, weekend retreats.
You have
Yeah,
one
so we
coming up
have
in
all of
January,
that.
don't you?
Yeah, there's a retreat in Louisiana coming up in January. There'll be another one in Louisiana in March. And then we'll go international to France. That's probably going to be in October. We haven't quite set the date yet on that. But it'll be a pilgrimage with Mary Magdalene. So
Oh,
it's a women's retreat. Yeah.
okay. Well, count me in.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And then Caitlin and I
All the sensual.
also, absolutely. Caitlin and I also, we're peers and teachers in a virtual community, a space for yoga and breath work and energy work. So it's called The Invitation. And we'll put the link to that in the show notes as well. So if you're looking for a virtual community, I know that yoga has been a lifesaver for me. It sounds like it was for you as well. And if you're looking for a space to be able to do that, maybe from the comfort of your own home as you get started, then we want to invite you into that space.
Yeah.
Well, again, an honor. Love you, sweet friend. Thank you so much. Sisters, we are so glad that you joined us on She Speaks. I hope today's episode left you feeling inspired, connected, and ready to take one step closer to your true self. Remember, the wisdom we seek is often found within. Keep shining, keep speaking, keep listening to yourself. And join us next time as we continue this wisdom journey to wholehearted living. Love you, sweet friends, and we will see you next week.